Good morning, my name is Tom. I come to you from the Rustic log cabin in Northern Maine. Get yourself a cup of coffee. It's kind of dark in here this morning, but we'll do a video later on that won't be quite so dark and you can see the inside of the cabin. When the bright sun comes through the window out here, it darkens up the cabin in here for the camera. So anyways, I'm getting ready to have breakfast. This is the first trip back to the cabin since, after deer season and all of that. As all of you know, I've been very sick. So I finally got that behind me. I started to feel better last Friday. And I said, if I'm feeling good on Monday, I'm headed to the cabin. So I'm here until Christmas Eve. I promised the wife that I would be home for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, spend it with the family and have a great time. Looking forward to that. Sun out there is playing havoc with me. Well, you guys will just have to deal with it if you want to have coffee with me this morning at the cabin. I have a full day of chores. Starting out... Yeah, you probably can't see, but back there on top of that cooler, I've dragged out one of my Dutch ovens. And that Dutch oven is going on top of that wood stove over there in just a few minutes. I've got a, what would be considered a very tough piece of meat off my deer, which most people would grind up and put it into hamburger. I don't. I make very little hamburger, if any at all, out of my deer. It always ends up for Dutch oven meals. That piece of meat is going to set on that wood stove and simmer most of the day. And then about 4 o'clock this afternoon, I will put in some carrots. I'll put in some potatoes. What else? I'll put in some onions. And I will put in 1 packet of Lipton soup mix. If you don't know that trick, that's a really good camp trick for a really good camp staple meal here at the cabin. There's enough spices in that packet of Lipton onion soup mix that it really gives that whole meal, which that Dutch oven, then I'll throw in some water and all that. It's not really a stew, because I never thicken it up. I could, but I enjoy it with lots of water and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a soup, but a really hearty soup, because I put potatoes and onions and carrots and whatever I've got up here goes into that pot. So that'll make for a really good supper, and I will definitely have leftovers for tomorrow night. But that's a really good way to use up. It would be that calf muscle meat, like what's in the front shoulders. That stuff that's really pretty tough. But when it simmers on that wood stove, it's tender, where you could cut it with your fork. So it'll just fall apart. So that's exactly what I am going to do with that piece of meat this afternoon. But we're on a more important project this morning. We got to worry about breakfast. So, it's the way it is. But this morning's breakfast is going to be deer steaks and home fries. So, and along with 2 or 3 eggs. So, that deer, he's getting eaten now. That's where I like to eat my deer meat. I love to eat it out on the ice fishing. I eat it here at the cabin. To me, that's where it tastes the best. It's the same deer, but it always has just a little bit more flavor to it if it's cooked here at the cabin. But I've got almost 2 feet of snow out in the road to take care of, all the way out to the highway. And then I've got to fill up my wood box. I've got to get some kindling. So today is going to be a kind of a work day here, setting up for the 2023 ice fishing season, which is just about upon us. But we have no ice yet. We have 0 ice, which is crazy for thinking what time of the month it is. I mean, we're talking the the end of December here now. You know, Christmas is next week. So that is just plain crazy, crazy, crazy to me that that's where we're at. It'll probably be, if it doesn't get cold, it'll probably be close to the end of January before I would consider it to be safe out here. But that's all right. We got some fun projects planned. I plan on being here quite a bit in the upcoming month. I do have I got to get my snowmobile trail. I've got to go down and make sure that there's no trees have come across it. I'm going to move it just a tiny bit to get over a ditch and hopefully not have to put in a bridge every winter. So if I move the trail just a little bit, I'll avoid that deep ditch that I need to cross over just before I get to the lake. I'm kind of boxed in down there. I have a stream that comes down through, and it's not that it's a big stream, but it's deep. It's only about 6 feet across, but the banks drop right down for in some spots 3-4 feet, and then it's straight down and straight up. Well, that snowmobile doesn't like that, so we have to avoid that stream. It would be nice if it was somewhere else, that's for darn sure. But I gotta cut some trees to get down through, but I'll take care of that. So I got some projects to take care of. And then I've got to hike out to the lean-to. If any of you haven't watched my videos from a couple of years ago, before Beaver Creek, I like to spend a lot of time out at the lean-to. So I've got to go out and spruce up the lean-to. There's plenty of firewood out there, and the fireplace is all ready to go. But I need to spruce up the lean-to and get that where I can go out. And I thoroughly enjoy going out there and doing fire videos and stuff like that. And just plain talking about woodsmen and woodsmen's thoughts and all of that. You know, how I arrived at a lot of what we like to call a woodsman lifestyle. And it wouldn't be possible without you guys as far as, yeah, I mean, I've been at this for 50 years, so that part is more than possible. But it's the sharing of the experience now. You know, I decided back in, when I started this YouTube channel, I decided, we're going on, I'm pretty sure, it's at least 4 years ago that I started. It would be 4 years, so we're working on our 5th year now. Up until that point, I wasn't a sharer. I know a lot of you might find that. I shared with my local friends and local buddies and stuff like that, shared information and knowledge. But I'm truly old school when it comes to, in the old school, you don't give away your fishing spot. You don't give away your hunting spot. Or if you learned a trick, you don't give away that trick. You keep that trick for yourself. That's the way I was raised. That's the way I was taught. My grandfathers taught that to me. My father taught that to me. Right up through. So it was just something that was in you, because we basically have always hunted and fished for the table. So if you gave away your spot, then you wouldn't have a spot anymore. So I've had that mindset my entire life. And then back when I started this channel for my grandsons. You guys were kind of a second thought. You were right in there with them, but the reality was I have a lot of information, and I have a lot of woodsman knowledge that I wanted to preserve for my grandsons. My grandsons run from, right now I've got a 1-year-old up to an 11-year-old. So there's only so much that I can teach them in an outing. But if I start putting it down on video, and especially uploading it to the cloud, which would be YouTube, it's safe, it's secure, and they can come back and they can watch these videos 20 years from now. You know what I mean? So if they want to, hey, I'm getting into this now, what would Papa do? What would Papa do? That was important to me. So I started to archive as much knowledge as I can and keeping it fun, and that's where you guys come in. I didn't realize when I started this, I thought I'm going to make a few videos, people will enjoy them or whatever. I did not realize that within a very short period of time that there's a lot of you out there that I consider friends, even though we've never met. And that I did not see coming in building a few YouTube videos to put out on YouTube back when I started this. And because, number one, I spend a lot of time alone. If I don't spend 80% of my time alone, then I'm lying to you. It's probably more like 90% between. Now, I spend a lot of time with my wife, but I spend a lot of time at these cabins. If you noticed in these videos, it's, especially now with the Beaver Creek. And you don't own a cabin without having some chores. Those of you that want the dream of a cabin and all of that, that's wonderful. But there are some chores that come along with this, and that's kept me really, really busy. So that's another reason why so much time out in the bush by myself, or here at this cabin by myself. Now that we've got Beaver Creek squared away and pretty much finished, it's usable, it's comfortable, and now it's like anything. Every year you will improve on this and improve on that. But there's no more real major projects over there as far as having to build a building that I could stay in. And same thing with the hunt shacks. This year was spent getting the hunt shacks out there, getting those installed. And it was nice to see it come full circle and end up with a buck, especially on that stand that I had just put in. I mean, that was just, I had no intentions of even hunting that stand this year, other than I wanted to go down and sit there and have coffee a few times because of the view. And go check out the view if you haven't checked out the view for that hunt shack. Just a wonderful place to sit there and have coffee. And I was very fortunate and very humbled to have a beautiful buck come by me within just a very short period of time of installing that hunt shack. It's not the first time that's happened to me, but it sure is nice to see when a plan comes together and all of that. So, and you guys, as I started to say a few minutes ago, you guys are making this so much fun. It is a riot to get together with you guys on these live streams that I do every now and then. We did a live stream here last night. I had a great time. I was tired, all of that, because I'm feeling really good as far as getting over the flu, but I'm still tired, stuff like that. So an hour and a half in, I was sitting there, I really want to sit in my easy chair tonight. And right behind me is a nice comfy easy chair. Throw a log on the wood stove and just plain enjoy the cabin and think about everything I had to do today. So, hey, you guys have a sip of coffee with me. I'm going to get going on breakfast. When it's all cooked, I'll probably bring you back. But anyways, that will have to be in the I'm cooking breakfast video, which will be next. And I'll take you outside so that you can look around, see the snow. Trees have been falling everywhere. Step outside for anything to get some wood for the wood stove, and just hearing trees crack everywhere. So, hey, you guys have a great time, great morning. Thank you for stopping in and having coffee with me, all of that, and I will see you in the next video.